Turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shade walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section. She call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want, and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I let me back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want, and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. On Shay's tube, she back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
All right, you guys. What's up? What's up? Welcome to I got the wrong thing up here. Hold on, you guys. Let me change that. Welcome to Shades 2 Late Night Owls Talk Time. And thank you guys so much for being here. Happy and blessed Tuesday. And I hope you guys had a beautiful weekend. Okay. This live is for Monday, but technically it's Tuesday. So that's why I said it like that. Welcome to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watched this in the replay over here in the chat. We got Jermaine representing for the Night Owls. He can hang with the Shayster. All righty. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this content tonight, make sure you thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, share, leave a comment, and hype this video up. If you want to show additional support for this channel, feel free to do a super sticker, super chat, cash app donation at $Shades2, or copy yourself a membership for $4.99 per month. All righty. Copyright disclaimer is scroll across the screen. The entire copyright disclaimer is in my BIOS area. All righty? All right. So tonight we are going to finish our discussion on Nolan Wells. Nolan Wells, his unaliving. Anyway, according to TMZ, Globe, and other sources, they claim they have evidence to show Nolan Wells was on Horn Island when his friends left. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Let me go ahead and turn my music on real quick first. Y'all make sure y'all get y'all to relax in bed, or if you are at work, watch or listen to me on the down low. Okay? So let's go ahead and do this. And we're going to watch a video as well regarding this, okay? So anyway, according to the Globe and TMZ, they said more details are coming to light in the unaliving of Nolan Wells, the 18-year-old who vanished during a 4th of July trip to Mississippi's Horn Island before he turned up unalive. Now, sources with direct knowledge told TMZ in an article published Monday, July the 27th, that police have evidence that apparently shows Wells still on Horn Island after the boat his friends were on left. So TMZ said a source told them that the police have evidence that shows Wells still on the island after his friends left. So all I'm asking regarding that is if they showed the police some physical evidence that he was there. Because if they're just saying that, how do we know they're telling the truth? And why did they, well, if they told the police, they could have told the police this a long time ago, and the police is not bringing that information out because it's a source who told TMZ this information. So we don't even know if this source is correct or anything. And who is this source? That's another thing. Who is this source? So let's see here what else they got. So according to TMZ, they said at least 2 witnesses who were interviewed by law enforcement said they saw Wells on the island after the boat his friends were on headed back to the mainland. So this makes me wonder, who are these 2 witnesses? Okay, because if it was just random people, how would they know what boat Nolan came on and who his friends are? How would they know this? So this makes me think it's someone that knows Nolan and knew that he was on that boat with his friends. So who are these 2 people? Now, earlier on Monday, TMZ obtained enhanced audio of a teenager on the boat calling a private towing company, CTow, around 4 p.m. as the vessel began taking on water near Horn Island. Okay. Some internet sleuths believe someone in the background of the call seems to say, "Is he unalive?" about 12 seconds in. However, it is unclear as to what is actually being talked about in the background. Now, I must say, all I recall hearing is Nolan, wake the F up, and then somebody said, bruh. Okay. Now, I listened to another audio today. I guess the girl did some stuff to it, enhanced it some type of way, because she does a job dealing with, I think you call it videography or something like that. And she enhanced and did some other stuff. I got her video that I'll show you guys. And when she played that, I heard someone call out Bart along with Nolan, wake the fuck up. You know, I heard that. And there's some other little stuff. But we're going to play that on this show tonight so we can see if you guys, and if I can hear the rest of the stuff that was being said. Okay? That's what we're going to do. So anyway, let me finish reading TMZ Globe stuff real quick. Okay. So they stopped it right there. Okay. And all they're doing now is just going over everything that we already know about. So let's see what some of these people are saying in the comment section real quick about this. Somebody said the Mississippi medical examiner took his larynx, his lungs, and his stomach before his body was shipped to the second medical examiner. He was on the boat. He was unalive on the boat. Do y'all watch or listen to what's really going on, or just sit around and follow narratives and opinions? And I agree with that. The thing is this right here. I know what I heard. Okay. I know what I heard. And that's just it. I know what I heard. Now, as far as these two witnesses, again, it makes me think when they say these two witnesses, it makes me think it's someone who knows him, or at least is aware of Nolan Wells. Because if it was just a perfect stranger on the beach, how would they know what boat he was leaving on, or it's his friends, or any of that, and what time the friends was leaving? Can everybody see your boat from wherever they are at? That's what I want to know. Let's see what else somebody said. Somebody said it's sad, but toxicology reports will show his BAC level. The thing about it, the toxicology report won't. I don't think that shows. It just shows what substance could be in his bloodstream, and things like that. Um, what could possibly show? What could show that he drowned is that regular autopsy. Okay, that would show that. The thing is, though, it can show if you were murdered. Okay, unless somebody was real careful in everything they was doing, then it might not. Okay. I don't believe, though. I don't believe they intentionally unalive him. You know, if anything did happen, I believe it's dealing with. It could be dealing with drugs, like I said last night. I don't know if I believe they would just, intentionally do that. And then again, I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. But I'm just saying, I think it's because the reason why I'm saying that too, another added reason I am saying that is because in that audio, and you hear him say, Nolan, wake the fuck up. That doesn't sound like someone, if the, that just unalive someone, because they wouldn't be telling him to wake the F up if they unalive him. At least I don't guess. You said seems like there would be more than just a few people that seen him. And why didn't Katie see him after 3 if she's the whole reason she stayed? Right. And why? Right. And these two people would have they definitely must know Nolan or know of him, because how would they know who he was with and that they are his friends, and you know, and that his friends both left? I mean, are they just standing there watching, or what? It's just weird. Let me read one of these stupid comments here. Somebody said this has all been a money grab based on a skin color. Shame on the parents. Sharpen, Crump, and GoFundMe. And then another commenter came back and said, and she's from Meridian, Mississippi. She said this has not been a money grab. Parents lost their child and want to know what happened. All people are concerned about is defending their own race and money. Those parents would give every single penny they have to get their child back, but nothing will bring him back. It's sad that people can't even come together in a time of tragedy. And I agree. Some of these little tripped out people sit up here thinking that, just because he's black people are saying he was unalive. No, dum-dums. That's not the reason why they're saying that. They're saying that because everything seems weird. The way these kids are telling everything, their actions after the fact, just all of that is weird. Okay, it's very, very strange. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this. Not look at, but let's listen to and look at this video here. Let me go ahead and mute this. Oh man. We'll present, share screen. So let's listen to this right here. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna watch this one too because I want to see what he's talking about.
With another development in the Nolan Wells case, TMZ has learned evidence apparently shows Nolan Wells was still on Horn Island after his friend's boat left. Sources with direct knowledge.
We already knew this. Warren and Tristan already said this, but y'all were not y'all that's listening. Y'all smart.
Let's stop right there. This is exactly what I was saying. The two friends that they're talking, they didn't say friends, the two people who witnessed him being on the island after the boat left is probably someone that he knows. And now they're saying, this dude here is saying that it's Warren and I think you're going to say Tristan. And of course, yeah, those two. I think that's what he's getting ready to say, or somebody else that knows him. Okay, because there is no way a random person on the island would know that his friends left in the boat, and they would not know what time they left or anything. They wouldn't know all of these things. Okay, let's go ahead and finish playing this.
I'm talking about your cousin them.
Let me
They were defiant and saying this. Warren and Tristan.
Wait a minute, hold on.
We already knew this. Warren and
Told
Tristan
y'all.
already said this, but y'all were not y'all that's listening. Y'all smart. I'm talking about your cousin them. They were defiant and saying these boys are lying and all this other stuff. And then now TMZ is reporting on it. Maybe you'll listen. Roll it.
Tell TMZ authorities have evidence suggesting Nolan was on the Mississippi Barrier Island after the boat departed on the 4th of July, which would mark a major development in the investigation. We're told at least 2 witnesses interviewed by law enforcement claimed they saw Nolan on the island after the boat headed back to the mainland. TMZ also enhanced the audio from Nolan's friend's frantic call for help when their boat was sinking, and some people believe they can hear someone saying, "Is he dead?" But sources tell TMZ people on the boat who have heard the questionable audio believe the words being heard are simply
think about it, and I agree with you, this officer, this dude here, okay? The thing about it is, like I said, it's the people that TMZ is talking about is clearly probably what we just said, his friends. And honestly, just because they said they saw him after the boat left, it couldn't be them two. I don't know who it is, but the thing is, they had to know him, okay, or know of him, like I said before, because there's no way they would know whose boat he was on, and they are friends, and at the exact time the boat left. They would have to know of Nolan somewhat or know him. So who are these two people? At first I thought he was talking about saying Warren and what's name, but then I thought about it. Couldn't be talking about them because they when the boat leaves, they're on the boat too, and Tristan wasn't even there, okay, at that time or anything. So I remember reading before, I think I told you guys, I forgot what day it was. I told y'all a couple of days ago that there are witnesses who said they saw him at, we know Katie, between 3 and 3:30. Then one of his friends said they saw him at 4 or 4:30. And then somebody else said they saw him at around 6 or somewhere around that time. Okay. But the part that I'm having trouble with is the fact that if someone saw him at 6, then what was all that about on that boat? Okay. We clearly heard someone said, "Nolan, wake the F up." And it doesn't sound like he was asleep and they said, "Wake the F up." Not with the tone how he was saying it. Okay. And why would he be asleep? And another thing too, they said that Nolan wasn't on the boat. So why are they saying Nolan? Just like we heard them say Bart. Okay, and we're gonna get to that in a minute. So you said that Trayston said Nolan knew a lot of people there. So whomever claimed they saw him probably know him, or definitely know of him, either know him. And yes, why only 2 people remember seeing him after 4:30 p.m.? That's what Jermaine said, right? And anybody can lie unless they show physical proof, like some photos with a timestamp on it. That is the only way I can believe them. Because anybody can say, well, I saw Nolan on the island at 5 o'clock. And if this is a friend of, the boys and stuff, you think they won't lie for them? So unless they have physical proof, like some photos or something, that's the only way I can believe them. Because now all of a sudden, all these people see him, all these people know he was still there, but yet, can't nobody tell us, what happened. Okay, let's go off of this one. Let me find another one. Let's see what he's talking about right here. Let's see what he said first. Let's see what he said.
TMZ, I'm gonna keep it a bean. You full of shit, my boy. And this is what I'm gonna tell you. I said that we didn't hear that in the audio, that it was just them panicking on the boat. Okay. Prove that. Y'all have professionals in there. Prove that. Prove that they're not saying that. Translate what they actually said, because apparently the whole mother world can understand it, but y'all can't. And I'm a little disappointed that you put a young black woman. Matter of fact, black woman, I'm disappointed that you did it by understanding. You remember when I said about job and being compromised? Ain't nobody gonna give up their job to have morals, integrity, and value. Yeah, shout out, but I ain't gonna get on your ass. But TMZ, y'all wild for want to publish that story. Here's my thing, TMZ. Why put the audio out if you didn't believe that? Kids were just panicking. Cool. Cool. Where are those 2 people? You said the authority, because that's hearsay. We doing hearsay shit now? We just hearsaying everything. Where are the 2 people at? Who are the 2 people?
That's what I said.
Pictures? How did they know that was Nolan?
Right.
So every black person just looks the same. How do you? So who were the people? So that means they knew Nolan? So they're not a suspect? Come on. You think me stupid, huh?
He got a point right there. He's asking some of the same stuff I was asking. He just did it in a better way. Where are the pictures? The proof. Forget TMZ. Where are the pictures? Okay. The proof. Anybody can say they saw Nolan. They can be with the narrative anyway, and they can say, well, we saw Nolan at 6. They could have concocted that shit up together with the other kids. Okay. So unless they got proof, I can't believe them. And only 2 people out of all those people was there saw him. Those 2. You mean to tell me nobody else out there on that island saw Nolan out there? You said, I think TMZ is full of it too. Yeah, they've been like that for a long time. That's why I stopped watching them years ago. Yeah, it should be 20 to 30 people who saw him, if not more. Okay, if he was on that island that long. I'm going to say this again. I don't believe he was on that island after that boat left. I just don't. I believe something happened on that boat. Okay, those kids, they were panicking, but they did not sound like they was panicking over that damn water. Okay, it seemed like they were more dealing with some other situation was going on, because even Warren, that was Warren, right? Even Warren, because I get their names mixed up. He wasn't even paying attention to the daggone tow person. He was concentrating on whatever they were doing. That's why he said, what? That's why he was talking like that. He wasn't even concentrating on anything she was saying, really, at one time. At one point in time of that whole entire phone call. He was distracted. And they was in the background doing the most. I heard somebody say, Nolan, wake the fuck up. Just as loud and clear. And then a girl, before he said that, or either I can't remember, I think she said it before. A girl said bruh or bro. Like, you know, she's trying to wake. I don't know what she was trying to. She's just, let me not even try to pretend like I know. But she said bro or bruh. Okay, then anything else that came out, I don't know what they said. But I know one thing I heard, what I just said, I heard. Okay, so that made me think definitely he must be on that boat. Then you got the Bart thing. We heard that in the enhanced thing that this girl broke it. She did some type of stuff, which I'm going to play the video, and you can hear it, more stuff. And you know, we heard the Bart's name, and Bart is supposed to be one of their friends, right? And he supposedly came over came to help them. But if he came to help them, why were they talking, calling his name out before? You know, when it was actually calling the towing company. Why would you even put Bart's name in it if he's not here yet? The only way I could see them put Bart's name in it if somebody in the background said call him, and then he said Bart or something like that. Okay? So anyway, let's go ahead and see what TMZ is talking about down here.
Were Nolan Wells' friends talking about him and talking about him possibly being dead while they were on their way back to the mainland from Horn Island? This is all because of some audio that we got from officials down in Mississippi. This audio is a call that's being made from the boat that Nolan's friends were on. So after they're on Horn Island on July 4th, at the end of the day, about 4:30, they decide they're heading back to the mainland. And the owner of that boat, or the grandson of the owner who's driving the boat, realizes that they are taking on water. Their bilge pump isn't working, so he places a call to a tow company called CTow. And while he's on that call, there is a lot of commotion going on. And what people think is that in the background of that call, you can hear someone say, "Is he dead? Nolan. Oh my God." It's really hard to make out. This is what it sounds like.
Well, we're not going to play that music, I tell you what, okay?
Test or wake up. One thing you can definitely hear clearly is the guy who's calling the tow company says, "Shut the bleep up." Now, he could have been yelling to some people. He does tell the dispatcher that there are about 7 people on board, all of them under the age of 20, under 21, he says. Now, here's what doesn't make sense.
So he said, "Shut
People,
the
he
fuck
does
up."
tell
Somebody,
the dispatcher that there are about 7 people. Test or wake up. One thing you can definitely hear clearly.
hold on, whoa.
No, we do not need that.
Now, there are other parts of the audio.
No, we do not need that.
Now, there are other parts of the audio where people think they hear the words "check his chest" or "wake up." One thing you can definitely hear clearly is the guy who's calling the tow company says, "Shut the bleep up." Now, he could have been yelling to some people. He does tell the dispatcher that there are about 7 people on board, all of them under the age of 20, under 21, he says. Now, here's what doesn't make sense. If they really were, and again, that audio is very difficult to make out. I mean, you can definitely hear, "Oh my God." The Nolan and Izzy dead part is up to interpretation. What doesn't make sense is why would they, if they had something, if there'd been foul play and something happened to Nolan or someone did something to Nolan on that boat, why would they be talking about it loudly while he's on the phone to a tow company? Were Nolan Wells' friends talking about him and talking about him possibly being dead while they were on their way back
to start back over. Okay. So he got a point right there. Let me see what you said, Jermaine. And Jermaine got a point too. We was talking about this earlier. You said Trayston said Nolan knew a lot of people there after they left. So why only 2 that remember seeing him out before 30 p.m. That's right. There should be 20 to 30 people who've seen him. And then you said, I think TMZ is full of it too. You said Warren was on Bart's boat when they arrived at Horn Island. Nolan was on Wyatt's boat. Okay. 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 Thanks for letting us know that, Jermaine. Okay. So let's go to that audio again. I think I got the other copy, the one that this other girl enhanced or whatever the case is. Let's see if I can get that real quick. You sent that to my TikTok, right, Jermaine? See. Oh, man. Who is this right here? Let's see.
Before I go to bed, now why the fuck is Bart's name on the Coast Guard report when Warren went on?
We'll look at that in a minute. I'm looking for the other thing and I'm trying to find what's going on right here. So.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly
explain
that's
what
I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this audio the way that I did. As a professional audio engineer with experience in dialogue editing, dialogue
see if I go to the other one, I hear double voices.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly explain what I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this audio the way that I did. As a professional audio engineer with experience in dialogue editing, dialogue cleanup, sound design, and post-production, I decided to work on that CTow call using traditional audio processing techniques rather than relying on any AI voice separation or AI enhancement. My goal was pretty much to preserve as much of the original recording as possible while making the quieter dialogue and background audio easier to hear. So I basically used techniques such as subtractive EQ, compression, gain adjustments, noise reduction, frequency isolation, and other traditional processing methods. So what I did was I separated Vicky, the CTow dispatcher, from Warren and the audio originating from the boat so that I can concentrate more closely on what was happening behind and around Warren, pretty much on the boat. And I specifically chose not to rely on AI because aggressive AI enhancements and voice isolation tools can sometimes introduce artifacts and distort the speech or create ambiguity around the sounds that were originally present. And for something this serious, I wanted my processing to remain as conservative as possible. You'll also notice time code and dialogue written on the side of the screen and pop up during each segment. That dialogue represents what I personally hear as an audio engineer while processing and repeatedly reviewing these sections. I'm pretty much providing it as a listening reference, not as a declaration that my interpretation is the only possible interpretation. And that's important. I want you to listen for yourself, use headphones if you have them, listen closely and decide with your own ears what you believe is being said. You can also return to the original unprocessed recording and compare directly with what you're hearing here. You'll also notice that my time code may not match the regular timestamp on the original uploaded video. And that's because I'm working inside a professional post-production timeline, a digital audio workstation, basically using SMPTE time code, which in film, that's displayed in hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Film and TV timelines are completely different from timestamps that you see when you're watching regular videos or when you're watching a movie and you hit pause. So basically the time code on the screen is there to identify the precise location within my working session, not to represent the elapsed timestamp displayed by the original video player. And I hope that makes sense. For this first video, I'm sharing only approximately 37 seconds of the call. I originally intended to continue much further, but once I separated the dispatcher from the boat and started concentrating exclusively on the background dialogue, what I believed I was hearing became extremely difficult for me to process emotionally, and I needed to take a mental break. but I wanted to release this portion because some of the details that stood out most to me occurred very early in the call, like right at the top of the call. And so I'm gonna let the audio play. Read my transcription if you want to reference, but don't allow it to determine what you hear. I want you to listen first, listen again, compare it with the original recording, and then judge it with your own ears. I hope this breakdown helps. And my
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Hey, up! Shut the fuck up!
Damn.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly explain
Oh,
what I did.
man, you
what
know
you're looking
what?
at on the screen and why I
When
chose
you
to
play
approach
this,
this audio
hold
the way
on.
that I did.
Let me stop.
As a professional audio
Oh,
engineer.
I'm still doing that. When you play this
Okay,
early,
so before I play this, I want to
why
quickly
I
explain
still
what I did,
this.
what
Stop.
the quieter facts and distort the speech or create and approximately 37 seconds of experience in dialogue editing, dialogue cleanup,
Screenshot this.
sound design, and post-production. I decided to work on that CTow call using traditional audio processing techniques rather than relying on any AI voice separation or AI enhancement. My goal was pretty much to preserve as much of the original recording as possible while making the quieter dialogue and background audio easier to
See if
hear.
I can go
So I
up some.
basically use techniques such as subtractive EQ, compression.
Let me see if I can stop this and start again. I don't know why it does this when you send me these videos.
Okay, so before I play this, I
I
want
don't know why it does the double thing. Hold on, let me see something. I don't know why it does that. Hold on, I think I may know. Let's see. Is it coming up on here? No. Okay. Let's do it now.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly explain what I did.
Up here. Damn, this damn computer, man.
Okay, so before I play this,
hold on, let me try one more time. Let's go to this.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly explain what I.
Let me see.
Okay, so before
I don't know why it does this.
Okay, so before I play this,
then it does this shit. You said fight on YouTube, Bless the Chosen. It shows how he did Big Shab. We're gonna have to look at that in a second. Let me see if I can get this because I want to see something.
Before I play this, I want to quickly explain what I did.
Man, every time I do that, it does this shit. Hold on.
Okay, so before I play this,
my God, man, hold on, y'all. Let's see what's going on.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly
I'm not
explain
trying to
what I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose the audio play. The way read my transcription audio and reference, but don't allow it to dialogue editing, dialogue. I want you to listen first, listen sound again, design and post production. Compare it with the original recording, and then judge it with your own that CTow call using traditional audio processing techniques rather than relying on any AI voice separation.
I don't know why it does that, but I did record this. Let's see if y'all can hear. Hold on. I don't know why it does that. I noticed it did it yesterday too. Hold on. So I did record it. Hold on. Let's see.
CTow dispatcher from Warren and the audio originated.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
More closely on what was happening behind the.
Let me see if I can fast forward it some. I'm just trying to hear the part where they were talking.
CTow dispatcher from Warren and the audio originating from the boat so that I can concentrate more closely on what was happening behind and around Warren, pretty much on the boat. I specifically chose not to rely on AI because aggressive AI enhancements and voice isolation tools can sometimes introduce artifacts and distort the speech or create ambiguity around the sounds that were originally present. And for something this serious, I wanted my processing to remain as conservative as possible. You'll also notice time code and dialogue written on the side of the screen and pop up during each segment. That dialogue represents what I personally hear as an audio engineer while processing and repeatedly reviewing these sections. I'm pretty much providing it as a listening reference, not as a declaration that my interpretation is the only possible interpretation. And that's important. I want you to listen for yourself, use headphones if you have them, listen closely, and decide with your own ears what you believe is being said. You can also return to the original unprocessed recording and compare directly with what you're hearing here. You'll also notice that my time code may not match the regular timestamp on the original uploaded video. And that's because I'm working inside a professional post-production timeline, a digital audio workstation, basically using simply time code, which in film, that's displayed in hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Film and TV timelines are completely different from timestamps that you see when you're watching regular videos or when you're watching a movie and you hit pause. So basically, the time code on the screen is there to identify the precise location within my working session, not to represent the elapsed timestamp displayed by the original video player. And I hope that makes sense. For this first video, I'm sharing only approximately 37 seconds of the call. I originally intended to continue much further, but once I separated the dispatcher from the boat and started concentrating exclusively on the background dialogue, what I believed I was hearing became extremely difficult for me to process emotionally, and I needed to take a mental break.
Let's hear this, girl.
But I wanted to release this portion because some of the details that stood out most to me occurred very early in the call, like right at the top of the call. And so I'm gonna let the audio play. Read my transcription if you want to reference, but don't allow it to determine what you hear.
Right.
I want you to listen first, listen again, compare it with the original recording, and then judge it with your own ears. I hope this breakdown helps. And my
Stop working, we're down, we're sinking. Can y'all please tell we have a membership? No, give me the fuck off! Shut the fuck up!
Damn. That's sad. And I mean, when you look at the transcript, and I wasn't even trying to look at the transcript, but damn, let's see if I can do that. That is crazy, man. Damn. I mean, it's saying way more stuff than I even heard. You know what I'm saying? Goodness. Okay, let me go back to that again. Hold on. This girl's name, and then we'll look at the Dan Calloway thing as well. Okay, hold on. Let me go back over here because let me type her name. What's this chick's name? Damn, I just got to looking at her name. I forgot. Let me look over here and see.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly explain
Jeanette
what I did,
Brantley.
what you're looking at on the screen, and why.
Jeanette Brantley. Jeanette Brantley. Let's see. Let's go back. Oh, let's see. Let's get this shit off of here. Let me see if I can pull it up here. So I want to do that shit so we can hear it here. Is this the whole thing, I wonder? Or is this the same part we just saw? Let's look at this one.
Once I separated the dispatcher from the boat and started.
Hey, we're at the west.
Let's go back. Hold on, let me go all the way back.
Helps. And my.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
And they did say no.
Fuck up.
Once I separated the dispatcher from the boat
Damn.
and started concentrating.
So when I said something about no, I was hearing no. That is crazy. And I told you I was hearing a female voice in there. Because she said, bro. At least I thought she said, bro. Somebody said it was taken down from her page, not even 20 hours, but it's back up. You know what I'm saying? It's back up. And let me actually do another copy of it because I was smacking this damn gum and shit a few minutes ago. I got to stop doing that. When y'all hear me smacking gum, tell me to stop chewing that damn gum like that. Shit. Because if all of this disappears, I do not want to hear myself smacking on gum. Let me delete that. And so y'all going to hear it one more time because I'm getting ready to record this. I don't want to hear everything that she did. Okay, I'll just screenshot that so I can know what her profession is. Let me just do that real quick. It's the best way to do it because if they take anything off of YouTube or wherever, TikTok, even when you save it, it will, if you download it, it won't even be on your phone anymore because something like that happened with us, with me when we were talking about JVM McGee unaliving because they try to hide behind the fact and say he committed the S word and we know he didn't. And they had made a mistake in a broadcast, and then when we went back to double check it again, it was gone. It was changed on my. It wasn't gone. What they did is they changed it around, and it changed on my downloaded copy too. So from now on, I just actually did the recording myself. So hold on for 1 second. Let me just start where she was right here before I started recording this, without me chewing gum.
Ears. I hope this breakdown helps. And my
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
once I separated the dispatcher from the boat and started concentrating.
So I got it. That's a damn truck, man. Goodness. So she did a good job with doing everything that she did, honey, because you can really hear a lot of stuff that's going on back there. And one thing that I was right about is the fact that it was different things going on in the background. Everybody wasn't into, the leak on the boat. They were more into what was going on back there with allegedly Nolan. Okay. And then Warren, I guess that's his name, who called. You can see that, you can tell that he was distracted from the conversation and he was really watching what they're doing. Okay. Now I don't know what happened at first. I was like, maybe, they were doing DRUGS and he got something bad. But then somebody said, damn it, Bart. Why did they say, damn it, Bart? Like Bart did something. Or they could have just been saying, damn it, Bart. Maybe it was DRUGS that someone else brought in on the boat for them to get lit, okay? And, it was laced with something or something like that. And that's why they could be saying, damn it, Bart. Okay, I'm not trying to say that somebody, I'm not trying to put crimes. I'm not trying to tag these crimes that I'm talking about right now to people. Okay, so that's why I'm talking like I'm talking. Okay, period. Let's see what else is going on here. I guess they just only got that part of it. Let's see if anybody got more of it. I think everybody basically got that one. And the sheep probably playing the same thing. Let's see.
CTow assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down there.
What did we just hear?
So there you have it all. Janetta Brantley, who is an audio engineer, she got a hold of that same audio that leaked, right? She got the full audio clip and she cleared it up using all of the resources and the techniques that she knows as a trained audio engineer, clearing up the actual audio file.
Damn, she did a good
of
job.
what allegedly occurred on that boat. Well, it's not alleged because this is the official phone call, okay? On that phone call, you hear Warren Hudson speaking to CTow. Vicky is the dispatcher. You hear them going back and forth, but listen closely to what is playing in the background right now. I went to USC for graduate school, right? And you can actually clear up audio. You can do it through Adobe Premiere.
Right.
You could do it through all types of things right now. You know what I mean? Like that's not, it's, if you know how to do it, you can actually switch the gain and things like that and lower certain voices and things of that nature in order to make the background more clear.
I want to quickly explain what I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this audio the way that I did.
So we saw this 1,000 times.
This is bringing up the conflict in all of their stories.
It
Okay,
sure is.
this is bringing up the conflict in their stories, and for me, I just find it interesting that Warren is, you know, being so vocal, right along with his mother, who's a judge, who released that statement. In her statement, by the way, this woman was saying, "I have the facts," knowing that she's a judge, and as a judge, she's supposed to remain impartial. How do you know the facts already when the case is still being investigated? Technically, the case is literally still being investigated. How do you know the facts already? You weren't there. So you're getting in the way of the situation. And all of them are trying their best to do their parts to cover up the truth. In my personal opinion now, I feel like all of them are in on it. I feel like Mississippi and all of those different agencies, they are trying their best to cover this up. And we honestly, the individual coverage and the independent coverage, and also Nancy Grace, who has that mainstream pull, we have to just keep going. Because this is a real, honestly, I feel like this is a move in the right direction as far as getting justice, right? As far as actually getting justice and actually getting somewhere in this case,
Right.
Because Mississippi still has yet to release. They said that it was sealed. They said that the autopsy and all of the information was sealed right after Ben Crump revealed that everything is still undetermined. Parts of the throat are missing. They circled a red area. They had, you know, in the actual report, they said that the back of his head had a red, his back of his head was red, okay? So, but everything is still undetermined because the body was so decomposed. So I really feel like we just have to keep being outspoken. Now, I know with this case in my previous videos, I was like, let's let more of the facts come out. We have to wait. We got to see. And now we're making some moves here. Now we're getting audio calls. We have Janetta Brantley really trying to get some answers here. Nancy Grace constantly asking the right questions. Now, I'm going to be real with you all. At this rate, be careful what mainstream media outlet you are subscribing to. Do not refer to TMZ as an outlet that you are looking to for Nolan Wells coverage. Do not refer to, and I used to work at TMZ, by the way, but they are not doing a good job of covering the situation. They got to stay in the celebrity realm. They're not doing a good job of covering this. You know, pay attention to W Locks, pay attention to the CNNs, pay attention to, for me, I've been following W Locks. So that's what's been helping me. Nancy Grace is doing a great job, right? She's having experts come on the show and really break this stuff down, right? So we're going to keep speaking out, you know, keep asking questions, okay? And in my previous videos, for me, I was so tired of these spam pages on Facebook. It was just a lot. And I felt like it was kind of interrupting the story and kind of taking us away from what we're searching for. But now we have more audio. All right. So what do you all think about the audio that has come out now? It's not AI. People are saying that it's AI. It's not AI. What do you all think about the audio that has come out? What do you all think about the timeline of events, right? Did you all see Warren's podcast? Do you actually believe Warren? Why would Nolan decide to stay behind? That doesn't make sense. All of them are not making sense. And honestly, I frankly think that they are trying their best to do really, really sloppy damage control. And they are making themselves look worse. They went and got the lawyers. You're running to a podcast before the investigation, before you're actually in court, trying to control the court of public opinion. And it's this whole thing. I really hope that Nolan Wells receives justice. I really hope he does. And for people who are bashing his family, it is absolutely insane trying to make this a political thing. And, for the fact that Warren went to a MAGA person's podcast, oh my Lord, and a Black person at that, they are such a hot mess. Anyways, that's my personal opinion and my report. Drop down below and you all let.
And we know who that person is, honey. That's why I had to get his ass off of my screen on everything. We know who that person is. I do not like Black people who tear other Black people down. Okay? I'm not saying that you got to lie and do things like that, but don't tear each other down. Please don't. Now, getting back to Nolan and that daggone audio. It's alleged, not alleged, but it's alleged that, the everything in that audio is on point. Okay, they have to check it out, I guess. But if it is on point, I'm still trying to figure out what happened. Okay, and I don't understand. Listen, if it's a D over D, okay, why won't if this happened, why won't they tell the truth? Because then it would just be an accident. Why all of the lies and stuff? You know what I'm saying? If it's something like that. And because what we just heard, like Jermaine played it for me when I was in the car, but I couldn't hear everything. The only thing I heard is Nolan, wake the fuck up or whatever, something like that. But I know I heard that name and I knew then it seems like Nolan is still on that boat. And that they were in the background they were panicking about his situation and trying to get him back up, alive. That's what I thought. Okay. I don't know what else to say. Let me look and read y'all stuff. That video right there that you're talking about, they said that is not Nolan. That's another fight. It was a fight. They had some type of fight. I forgot what you call that, like a fight club, and it was, doing that, but it wasn't Nolan. And it was actually in another location, I believe. They're not saving no boat then. And people who are sitting back behind these screens and shit on these talk shows saying that shit is dumb as shit, okay? It's dumb because you can clearly tell it's more than one thing going on. When Warren was on the phone, you can clearly tell he is distracted by whatever's going on in the back. And he's trying to stay focused. That's why when she said something to him, he said, "What?" Because he was too busy looking over there to see if they can get Nolan back up. Okay? And he was sounding serious. If a boat is sinking and that's the only thing you're worried about, when you call, you be like, we need help, come on out here because the boat is sinking. We need help. Hurry up, because we don't want to drown. You would say something like that. You would be hyped up like that. You're not going to be like distracted by what's going on over there. And plus you would hear people in the background saying, pour the water out, or something like that. I heard one person say something to him about the boat, and that was it. The other people were in the background saying whatever. I heard Nolan, wake the fuck up, get the fuck up, or something like that. First, I thought he said no, which somebody did say no. But when I heard how they, because they say words different than where I'm from, right? And so when I heard them talk, I realized they saying Nolan because the way they say it. Okay, Nolan. They just do like that. When I go Nolan, I say his whole name out and stuff. But Yeah, I just think that maybe they all had something, some what, and something may have been laced or something, or maybe they wanted to try something else. Who knows? And it messed Nolan up. And then he passed, fell down or whatever the case is. That's why you hear them say, allegedly, Nolan, wake the fuck up, because they probably was shaking him, trying to get him to wake up. Like when somebody have a D over D, that's sometimes you'll do that, because if they were fighting or anything, it could have been some type of altercation there too. But the thing about the altercation, if it's intense enough to unalive him, you would think it's some bruising and markings on him. And even though his body was decomposed at the level it was, I think you can probably still tell certain things, because he was only in that water for, let me think, a day and a half or something like that. It's not like he was in that water for a long, long time. Okay. And we went over some of the processes, if not all the processes that transpire when you drown. Okay. So he was just going through, when they found him, he probably was just getting out of that stage. I forgot what you call it. Where all the gases start releasing in your body, the methane, carbon dioxide, and that's what floats the body back up, helps to float the body back up. So that's the stage that they found him in, probably the second stage and stuff. So I'm thinking that, they can probably pretty much determine certain things, because they did the autopsy pretty quick anyway. See, Nolan's parents did the autopsy like a whole week or something later. So, like they said, waiting that long, certain things you probably won't be able to tell. Plus, they did not send them those parts that they took out, the layer in his throat, the lungs, and another area. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, they did not, return that. They did not put it back in his body, like inside of a bag, and sit it somewhere in his body cavity. And then the other medical examiner could have examined that as well. So they didn't do that. Maybe they were still examining that stuff themselves, or either, it's part of the master plan. Let me put it like that. You just never know. You said, and what's up? Let's see, Jay. What's up, Jay? Drove or not? Taurus, some wink. Thank you guys so much for being here, okay? So you said, hold on. You said from getting slammed on his neck, that's why he has that red mark on the back of his head. You said that's a legal audio receipt. Warren can't get his timeline straight. He says he left the island at 3, then 4, then somebody else said 4:30. Okay. They said the fight was at 4. How did they do all of this stuff? Huh? So you said Dane Calloway has the version, the longer version. And you said 4:30, he called in the rescue, but called his grandfather before the rescue. Right. Isn't that crazy? If your boat is sinking and you're so scared, you would be calling the damn rescue service and like the Coast Guard. You would call the Coast Guard first, okay? Because you need them to come out and help y'all and rescue you guys. And you can call the tow person too. You know what I'm saying? Then you call your grandfather. But no, they were not that concerned like that. They was concerned, but not like y'all think, okay? Because they pretty much probably know about boats and all that, and know how long certain things take and how bad it is, and etc. They seemed like they were more concerned about what was going on, the other situation that was going on. Okay? You said he was on the beach. Nolan's name shouldn't be mentioned if he was supposedly back on the right. It shouldn't be mentioned at all. I think that's what it is. I believe he was on the boat. You could be right, Tiresome. Everybody in this chat could be right. Okay, because we don't know. We're just guessing. So let's go to this video right here. Dane Calloway version is longer. Okay, let's see. Dane Calloway. Let me make sure I spell his name right. She good. I spelled Nolan name wrong. Let me take the other A. CTow, right? Let's see if I type that where it can come up. I think I called it. Let me type it a different way. Let me do CTow 911 call. Let me do it like that. So this is it right here. So he's talking about Africans right now. This is old. Let me go to his current one. Let me just go type on his thing right here. Let's see if I see it on here. We're going to do it the old school way. Just look through his videos. Is this the person you're talking about? Job or not? Oh, no, I can't do it on YouTube because they're going to do a copyright on YouTube. They always do that. Anytime I go to YouTube, they do a copyright thing. And let me just go over here and see real quick. Because I want to see the longer version. Oh my God. And I look every night. I start this shit every night. I start this shit every night. I start this stuff with this damn cat. I'm allergic to my cats, okay? Y'all believe they make me itch, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. They here. It may be like a mental thing too. You know, you just be thinking and then it start happening. Okay, let's see. So this is it right here, right? Okay, so it's 12 minutes away. So let's see. I may have to take it out, but we can hear it right now.
The idea of living in an apartment just was not very appealing to us.
I'm gonna do this. Let me skip this ad real quick. I want to hear this video. And let's see. I hope it. Y'all hear that? Yeah. So that's the actual island right there. We need to look at, we're going to look at the island too today, okay? We're going to look at the island.
CTow assistant. CTow assistant. CTow assistant. CTow assistant. Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership like guaranteed.
All right.
I know we have a membership
What?
like guaranteed.
Did they just say it's a body here on board with us? Damn. Y'all know this had to be important because I usually don't go to YouTube videos. Damn, let me hear that part again.
Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership like guaranteed.
All right.
I know we have a membership like guaranteed.
See, wait, let me stop this real quick. This is why I said I don't think they did anything to him on purpose. And I said that 2 days ago. Because the reason why I said that is because I was listening to how the dude was saying, Nolan, wake the fuck up. I was listening to the way he said that. It didn't sound like someone who would intentionally take someone's life. It sounds like something happened, whether it was DRUGS, which I believe that's what happened. And they, they didn't know this was going to happen. Maybe it was laced with something. And, they try to wake him up. They're wanting him to get up, even though they know he's unalive. Okay, that's what I think happened. And I'm like, if this is what happened, I think they should have told the truth from the get-go. Because the thing is, I know they would be questioning where did they get this stuff from, who gave it to them, and all of this. But it's just better just to, tell the truth, and things may not go as, it may not go like it would go with other people who just sit there and just lie about the whole thing, or people who basically go out and, give people DRUGS. You know what I'm talking about, all that stuff. So I just think they should have just told the truth and studied panicking. If they did anything, let's put that in there. Okay.
Right.
I know we have a membership like guaranteed.
All right.
I know we have a membership like
He
guaranteed.
drunk or something because
I don't have the tag.
he sound like in the original video, audio, he sounds like he's a little bit intoxicated. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about that in a second.
Do you have a membership number or anything? It's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at
That's
Some
sad.
payments, you really feel them coming. The rent, the mortgage.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How many? All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
What that boy said?
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me get a look.
If not, I can send you a text message.
North. All right, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm available.
North 3 degrees. But
what I'm thinking is that they probably was doing something, maybe. Okay, and they were doing that while they noticed that the boat was getting water or whatever. The whatever you call that thing wasn't working, and so he started calling the CTow. At the same time, Nolan goes through his stuff, and they trying to see what's going on with Nolan because he passes out, falls out, whatever the case is. They trying to get him to wake up. That's why he made the call, because he didn't know that this was going to happen to Nolan. You see what I'm saying? Because they probably was out there just getting bent, right? and then Nolan had a bad reaction, whatever, or it was laced with something. If this is what I'm talking about, if this is true, and then he, fell out or whatever the case is, while this dude was on the phone and stuff, and they trying to make him, wake him up or whatever the case is. That's what I'm thinking. You said, Shay, if he did OD, where do you think these boys got the, someone who knows where to get it from? It's hard to say. They did say, damn it, Bart. I'm not saying that Bart gave them anything, but I'm just saying, you heard somebody say, damn it, Bart. So what does that mean? You said both Warren and Bart's dads are doctors. That's you know what? That would be cray-cray. Now let's see what else they said real quick. I'm not gonna listen to the whole video because it's 12 minutes. I just want to see a little bit more. And I hope Dan Calloway don't do a what's the name, but if he does, I'll just trim this out. But at least everybody who is watching me right now will get a chance to see this. But y'all can go to his channel and watch the whole video, okay? CTow don't care about calling out other people YouTube channels, okay?
4672.
All right, 4672. All right, and you were breaking up a little bit. Can you just repeat it one more time to make sure I have it correct?
Sad.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
He wasn't even on the phone listening. He was too busy watching over there to see if they can wake Nolan up. And I noticed that on the first time I heard the audio, I noticed that. And I was like, he's not even paying attention to the lady on the phone because he's paying attention to whatever is going on with Nolan and the people. What's up, Levon? You said they unalived him.
Yeah, what?
So you're breaking up. If you need assistance, do you have a VHF radio?
Yeah, we do not have the VHF radio.
All right, well, let's try to get you going because you don't have good cell phone reception. Can you verify your coordinates one more time?
Okay, my coordinates are 30 degrees by 14.684 north, and then west by 88 degrees by 46.79.
Right, looks like you're on Horn Island, correct? Are you on Horn Island?
Yes.
All right, is the boat sinking or you have it aground?
We are sinking, yes.
Is it aground is the question?
No, we're not aground. We are in 17 foot of water. We're in 31 foot of water.
All right, have to ask. What do you want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes.
All right, where would you like it towed to, sir?
You can tow it to Ocean Springs or Fort Bayou launch.
All right, how many adults and children on board?
No, there's no children.
So, is there anybody on board? How many adults, sir? That was the question.
Hey, Florida, drop it off.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Florida, drop it off.
What?
Hello,
Stop
can you
in the
hear me?
water. What is he talking about? Stop in the water. Let's see.
Hey, Florida, drop it off.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Florida, drop it off.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Florida, drop it off.
Hello, can you hear me?
What they say?
Hey, Florida, drop it off.
So it says four of us. Four of us. Four of us. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I do.
Try to jump in and pull the plug while you're going.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yep, I just need you to answer these questions so I can get you over to the captain.
Okay.
How many adults on board?
There's 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody
right.
here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question. Is there a person? Is there a person, a living individual on the boat?
Hello?
Is there a living person, someone breathing on the boat? Is there anybody on the boat?
Yes, there's lots of people breathing on the boat.
All right, how many people, sir?
Like 7 people.
All right, thank you. Does that?
Like 7 people.
All
You know,
right,
hiccups and
thank
everything. That's
you.
not drinking.
Does that?
Like 7 people.
All right, thank
He's
you.
so he is effed up,
Does
y'all.
that?
Like 7 people.
All right, thank you. Does everyone have life jackets on or available to them?
Yes, we have life jackets available.
All right, verify what boat's sinking.
A Triton, 22-foot offshore L. 20.
He is totally bent completely. Okay, and you said here the slurred speech is a mess. I know, and ain't nothing up. What's up with you, Levon? Dang. So the thing is, I'm gonna stop playing him right now because I played enough. I'm probably gonna have to take this out, like I said. This is I'm gonna go back and listen to this again, okay? Because this is a hot ass mess. You know, I just don't feel like I said before. Let me stop sharing his thing. Hold on. And thanks, Jobo Knott, for telling me about him, because I was wondering where is the whole entire video at, broken down like this. Let me go back up and do this. Hold on. Let me go back to TikTok. Damn. You can honestly hear the panic in their voices. And this is why I said originally when I first heard it, this is why I said I don't believe they did this intentionally. Okay, this is what made me come up with the idea of maybe Nolan, maybe all of them were in there getting lit, okay, and something was laced with something, or something that was given to him was too much for his body, and he, passed out, eventually succumbing to it, and they panicked. And you can hear the panic and also the concern in their voices. I mean, at least I can. Y'all probably can. I don't know. So I don't feel like they did this like intentionally. I believe it was an accident if they did anything. Okay, because they keep saying they didn't do anything. So we're gonna go with the fact if they did it, if they did anything. Now they did a toxicology report, and it'll be coming back soon. If they don't try to cover it up, okay, don't be shocked if they do find out there was something in his system more than just alcohol. Because I honestly think it was what I'm talking about, because it just seems like that. I wanted to the mom see this video and hear it, and then Crump and all of them. You said one thing white folks are most known for is saying, like, in statements, oh, okay, like 7. You're right. What's 7 people on there? So who would the 7 people be? Let's see. Jermaine, can you name all of them? I hope that when you say this right here, hopefully they're not getting stuff from, there, because it's going to be a hot ass mess, if that's the truth. And he did pass on from an old, you know what I'm talking about. And then they covering it up. So they just, as soon as it happened, they should have called the Coast Guard. They reported that. They couldn't, they didn't want to say who gave them and stuff. They could just say they bought it from someone off the street or some shit. They don't remember. I mean, I don't know what they would be charged with or whatever the case is, but I mean, damn. I think I couldn't go along with if nobody wanted to report that, because I'm not about to get in serious trouble, once they find out, unless, like I said before, it's covered completely up. But the thing is, if they believe that it can be covered up, then they would have not try to conceal it like they are doing, because they would know that they can cover it up. Okay, so I don't know. It's just a hot ass mess. Listen to that video and stuff. You know, the audio and stuff. I mean, it's damn near. It's heartbreaking actually. Damn. Because like I said, I didn't hear it like that. I heard the other stuff, but not in detail like that. They like, wake up, Nolan. He's unalive. He's unalive. Nolan's unalive. You know, they use the DAD word. That's sad. So if they actually finds out, I can see, you know, possible charges being filed. You know, I can really see that. And then all the truth will come out. And as far as two witnesses who claim they saw him at 6, unless they show physical proof, I don't believe them. I don't believe them. You need to show physical proof, like some pictures with a timestamp, all of that. And let me say this too. And if this is true about, you know, maybe possible OD or something like that, this explains the phone thing. Okay. Because let's say this. What's the name said, Trayston said that Nolan called him at 11 o'clock or 11:30 a.m., somewhere around that time. All right. So Nolan was on the boat. So that means that Nolan had to contact him while he was on the boat. All right. But why didn't Trayston said that Nolan said something about where did you park your car? Why would he ask Trayston where did he park his car if he's on the boat going to Horn Island? Where does that make sense at? Why would he ask him that? He is not about to go to no car, and you don't call no boat no damn car. You said it just creates more reasonable doubt. You said them white folks talk in riddles to cover up what they did. Yeah. Enlighten us, Levon. So, why would he say that? Is Trayston telling the truth? And also, yeah, I was about to say about the cell phone working, but if they're on the boat, it probably will work until really good until you get closer to the island. Just like when you're in an area where you know your signal will be lost, when you get to the area where it's going to be lost, you lose it completely. But before you get to that area, you usually keep it and then it starts fading away. So that's how it probably is on a boat as well. So he definitely can talk on the phone on the boat because Warren called this CTow, you know, on the phone and stuff. It was breaking up, but he was on a regular cell phone. But what I'm trying to figure out is why did Trayston say that Nolan asked him about a car? Why would he be asking about a car if he's on his way to Horn Island? That's weird. But that's kind of strange. And then with the cell phone, I just know good and damn well Nolan was taking pictures that day. I mean, I just find it very hard to believe that he did not take pictures. Also, if he did call Trayston, like Trayston claimed, that would be in his phone. And even if his phone was deleted, they could easily request, his mom could easily request a copy of the phone log from the telephone company. And you don't have to get no subpoena or anything. You can just call and ask them for it. You can just say, because somebody was, calling my son, playing on the phone or whatever the case is, whatever. And they'll give you a whole printout of all the calls that came in. Or you can just simply say, I want to check to see what calls came in and what went out on my son's phone. And they'll send you that copy. Sometimes you can look it up, underneath their account. Yeah, because I did that. I looked at my phone log like that one time. So they can easily do that. And that way you will see if he called Trayston and if they, conversed or anything. Let's see. Right. Right, and that's nothing. Where are the pictures for the 4th of July before you even went on the boat? the things that y'all was doing, chilling, having fun. Where are those pictures and text messages and all that? So I'm thinking that when he was on a boat, he probably was taking pictures on there. Okay? He probably was, even probably doing a video. So in order to conceal that he was on the boat, then you would have to delete everything. Okay? You have to delete everything. So when you carry out your plan, they can't find any evidence that he was ever on that boat. And then you would get people to say, well, we saw him at 6 o'clock, or we saw him at 4, and all this other stuff. And who is that girl in the background? Who is that girl? So Katie said the last time she saw him is at 3 to 3:30, and she assumed that he got back on the bus, not the bus, the boat, to go back with the people he came with. Who do you guys think that girl is in the background? And then if he said he didn't want to stay on the boat because he wanted to hang out or stay on the island, whatever the hell, don't you think he would have went back with Katie? So these little stories they have, I don't know. I mean, it just seems very questionable. It doesn't seem like they're telling the truth. And you heard the key term I just used. I said it doesn't seem. It doesn't seem. Okay, and the whole statement was, it doesn't seem like they are telling the truth. Okay, and not saying that they're not. I'm just saying it doesn't seem like that to me. You said Nolan was en route to Horn Island at 11 a.m. when he supposedly called Tracy. Right. And I'm just trying to figure out, why is he asking about a damn car? What does that have to do with the island? Because he can't even, for me, he wouldn't even be talking about a car at no damn 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay. He got all day to call, Tracy, unless he wanted to call him before he got closer to the island because he won't get no service. Now, that could be a reason why he called and allegedly called and said that. We don't know. That's why we need people who interview these kids to ask real in-depth questions so we can really get answers. Like, for example, if I would have been interviewing Tracy, I would ask him, so if Nolan was going back to, if he was going to Horn Island, why is he calling you asking you about a car? So what's up with that? What y'all gonna do? Why is he calling you asking you about it? That's what I would say, something like that, but a little bit more professional. And then I would have went in more detail about his cell phone. So you mean to tell me all the time y'all was hanging out, you didn't take out one picture? So what happened to the phone call where he called you and then you called him back, or either he called you again? What happened to that? Because his mom said nothing was on his phone. So what happened to that? These are the questions I would have been asking him. And when you found out that Nolan is missing, why didn't y'all just jump back in the boat or in the boat and go out there and look for him immediately? So it's a lot of stuff I would ask them, because you need to have answers, okay, to real questions. You know what I'm saying? To real questions. And you said because he went for that girl and they didn't like that. And you never, you know what? You may have a point there. That's one thing you just don't know. There were different theories like that. So anything is possible. Like I always say, anything is possible. Okay, let's see what else we got. I think I almost covered everything. Let me check and see. Because I don't know what happened to Jermaine. Oh, let's see. Hold on, guys. Let me check something real quick. Let me check to see. Yeah, this is a trip. This whole entire case is a trip. Okay, let's see here. Did I cover everything? That listening to that audio is sad. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. I wish if this did happen, but I wish they would have handled that a different way. And so I want to see this evidence that he was still on Horn Island, because, you know, how the hell he's still on? How can somebody see him at 6 when they on the boat doing the most? Who are they talking about then? Huh? Is another person there named Nolan? No. Now I think that's it with him. As I already told you, they sealed the autopsy report until the grand jury reviews, I guess, the information that they have to see if they can bring charges against anyone, which is a standard thing they do, you know, in these type of situations. I just hope that his parents get justice for their son, okay, point blank. And I hope that somebody, if something happened weird, like I just said, I hope one of them crack. And why haven't any content creators interviewed Katie? Y'all need to interview Katie. That's what y'all should do. Interview Bart, Katie, all of them. I think that's all of the information that I have new for him tonight. Let's see. And in that, I wanted to discuss. Let me check on my other phone, you guys. I think that's it. Yeah, because we just did all of that. And I did say earlier the evidence in his case points to an accident. Yeah, it was an accident, all right. An accident with some damn drugs. Okay, let's keep it real. It was an accident, all right. And then, you know, I hate to say this because I never did finish it. So if that did happen, you know what I'm thinking, and they wanted to conceal it, the best way to do it is to push him overboard and make it look like it's a apparent drowning. Okay? So, and they were at the same area, I believe, where his body was found. And I don't think that they came in, if they did it, I don't think they came and put no body in no daggone water later on either. Okay? Remember the steps the body goes through, you know, when you drown. You're gonna go down to the sea, to the floor first of the sea, right? The ocean or whatever. And then after all the process starts taking, you know, effect, and the gases are released in your body is gonna start floating back up. And they said that process, the first process takes 0 to 3 days, right? And then 3 days to 5 days, the process is to pull your body back up starts to happen. And depending on the type of water you are in and other factors, it could be quicker or later. Okay? So his body just probably came up naturally. Okay? The first time when they came out, the Coast Guard, they couldn't see it because he was still at the bottom of the ocean. All right? Because the processes were just starting. And it takes 0 to 3 days. So that makes sense. That's why they didn't see his body. It was all the way down at the floor of the ocean. Okay? Going through all the little breakdown processes, you know, because he's unalive. And, you know, the body started doing certain things because it's, you know, getting itself prepared to be not ever waking up again. I'm trying to say it that way so y'all can understand what I'm saying. And so by the time the Coast Guard came back, everything in his body that enables him to float back up had already taken place, okay? And it could have been still taking place, but enough methane gas and carbon dioxide, it was enough to, you know, make his body float back up. So that's why they seen his body, you know, the next time they came out. That's what I think anyway. Okay? I don't think they had his, you know, they could have, you know, if they did anything, let's put that in there again. They could have. But I don't know about that because the way they going crazy in the background, if that audio is correct, I don't see them, having an unalive person in that boat like that. I think they would basically want to go ahead and get rid of the body and act like he drowned, period. And then go back home and, act like everything is normal. We're just going to act like Nolan was hanging out with Katie and we don't know, what's up. We're just going to go home and be normal. We're going to go to the party. We're going to go watch a movie. We're going to go talk to what's name dad. We're going to do everything that we would normally do. And I can see that happening just like that if they actually did something. Okay? If they actually did something. But I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't care what they come back and say. I'm going to always think that Nolan Wells was unalive. Whether I'm going to think it was unintentionally, okay, unless it's proven that it's intentional, especially when you get that, when they released the results of the first autopsy and they tell us about that spot on the back of his head. If it was from a hit, a fall, because he could have, listen, y'all think about this. If it was you know what I'm talking about, right? He could have, when he fell, he could have hit his head, okay, on that floor of the boat. And they could have, made that mark as well. Yeah. You said she saw everything all the time. I'm thinking they're just trying to pin stuff. See, what I'm thinking is that they're trying to subconsciously implant her name in our minds, okay? So we can automatically feel like she has something to do with it. Now, granted, she could have something to do with it. That could be her in the background. We just never know. And I use the word could because we don't know if that's her or not. And then again, she may not even know. She could have just walked off when she thought that he was going back on that boat with his friends to go back home or whatever the case is. The only way we are going to know the 100% truth if someone conscious started bothering them to the point where they need to tell somebody what really happened. Okay? All right, so let's see. I think I covered everything. I think I showed y'all all the videos. Did I show all the videos, Jermaine? Is that all the videos I'm supposed to have showed? Let me show this one. Hold on. It's another one. What time is it? Let me see how long we've been on here. 2 hours and 36. Okay. Let me go back to my messages. So what is Warren Huston caught in another alleged lie? Let's see this real quick.
On and what boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on Wyatt Pyron's 22 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy Bart because we had a lot of friends from college coming down. And Bart, I called Bart that morning. I was like, "Hey man, can you take your boat out?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, my dad decided not to go, and I'll take the boat and I'll take you and your friends." Of course, I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and Nolan rode out on the Triton. And then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton. And then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton. And then there was the rest of the group, which was probably ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line, which is 24 tide line. So, I mean, we're all freaking out. All of our, we're not focused on anything else other than the boat. Well, then eventually my buddy Bart on the tide line is like, "I'm going to pull y'all out." Eventually Bart pulls us out. We left at 4:30, but we really weren't pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out, and we had the towing strap pulled from, Bart's port side cleat or starboard side cleat, and he was on our starboard side bow. And so it was rubbing on his power pole. So Bart turned around, pulled up next to our boat, and we were just trying to get it situated. So that's when Wyatt called CTow. And Wyatt was like, calls them.
Actually around the CTow, right? You guys called it in.
Right.
They have
So that was Riot who called CTow.
that record of you guys, making that emergency call.
Right.
But then there's this, I guess, graphic of you guys traveling at a slow speed. Then all of a sudden you accelerate.
Right.
People are saying that that's an indication of something afoot or foul play.
My buddy Bart drove his boat up next to ours after he pulled us out away from the island. And then he towed us a little more. When my buddy would put the boat in gear and forward, the motor would come right back up. The captain of the boat got in the water, pulled the plug out the boat, got back in the boat, and hit it. And I mean, that's why we came to a stop, so he could jump in the water, pull the plug, and then we hauled in. There was no stopping, because if you do stop, the water starts coming back in the boat because the plug's out. So
there's nothing nefarious there. It's just a formality of trying to unplug the boat and
absolutely not.
Get it docked properly. All that has gone on, if Nolan was here, what do you think he would say about all this?
If Nolan knew this was going on, he'd be sick to his stomach. I mean, Nolan hated.
Right. If he knew what was going on, what already transpired, he definitely would be sick, especially if they had anything to do with it. All right. A lot of people think that Bart is the one. Okay. So I don't know. What do y'all feel in the chat? Do y'all think Bart is the one who did it or not? You said they like to eat medium rare foods, huh? Well, you may have a point right there, Levine. So that everybody is saying Bart. Okay, Bart. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's see what she's talking. She's talking about this thing here. Let's see.
Before I go to bed. Now, why the fuck is Bart's name?
They said that Warren initially said Bart wasn't there. In that interview, he said he was there.
On the Coast Guard report when Warren went on Officer Goofy's show and said he's the one that called the Coast Guard. Why would Bart lie and say he was in Wyoming for 1 year when his name is on the Coast Guard report? Why would they keep saying, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, in an obvious attempt to conceal Bart's identity?
Wow.
When we have a GPS location that matches Fort Bayou and Bart's residence, which is also a home on the water with direct water access and a dock. Bart was one of the people not mentioned in the story, which means he could have written the story or had part in writing the red herring story. And Bart was definitely mentioned in the CTow call for pulling the plug from Wyatt. Hard evidence against Bart, not circumstantial, hard.
Damn. Hold on. Listen what somebody said in this comment section. Somebody said there's a picture of Katie and Bart on TikTok. Wyatt's little brother got into a fight with who? Another group of the same group got into a fight with someone else. But who? Who are these boys fighting with, but comfortable with leaving one of their friends on the island? They claim that Katie is allegedly his cousin, but not confirmed. So Katie is allegedly Bart's cousin? Okay. We already know that he was there on that boat. At least we think he was, because they called out his name at least 2 times. I can't remember exactly how many times, but they sure did. So we already know that. Yeah, he did say that at the interview that he met Bart at the dock and rode out to the island with him, and that Bart is who towed the sinking boat. And so I don't know why he's saying he wasn't there. So that's weird that he's saying that in other interviews, not being consistent with his storytelling. It's crazy. Let me go back to this again. So this is Bart right here?
Edmiston Jr., a 21-year-old adult from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. He was an all-star kicker and punter for Ocean Springs. Bart is currently signed to Southern Miss. Football also runs within the family because his father, Dr. Bart Edmiston, pain management physician, who used to be a football player at the University of Florida. Dr. Bart Edmondson also works for Memorial Health System. And so does NP Miss Christine Wells Wansley. Small world. He's right there at the pool party.
My buddy Bart on the timeline is like, I'm going to pull you all
That's
out.
Bart at the
We're around
pool
all this,
party?
you know, all this chaos. My buddy Bart on the timeline.
Small world.
So,
He's right there.
oh, there go Bart right there. Okay. I want to know who is this dude right here and what is going on right here. Because this dude right here looks like he's not happy to be like this. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. That's what I really want to know. Nolan is back here. Look like Nolan talking to a girl back here.
At the pool party.
My buddy Bart on the timeline is like, I'm going to pull you all out. We're around all this, you know, all this chaos. Because we left at 4:30 and there were still just as many people there, aisle out. And we had the towing strap pulled from, you know, Bart's port side cleat or starboard side cleat, and he was on our starboard side bow. And so it was rubbing on his power pole. So Bart turned around, pulled up next to our boat, and we were just trying to get situated. So that's when Wyatt called CTow. And
Damn it, Bart. This is all alleged. Let me know what you think in the comments.
That's crazy. You did a good job on this. Okay. Did a good job on that. Bart's name is coming up a lot, but it doesn't mean that he's guilty of any crime, but his name is coming up a lot, which is kind of strange. Okay. Which is kind of strange, but let's go ahead and go back over here where we was at.
Thank you, Officer Tatum.
Okay. So I think I'm pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover tonight. I'm pretty sure it'll be new stuff tomorrow. Jermaine, is anything that I left out or anything that you need to say, or any one of you guys, if you need to say something, go ahead and say it right now. And while y'all think about it, I want to let y'all know that D4VD will be going to trial, okay? Because they did find enough, I guess, probable cause or whatever. I think I'm saying this correctly, to go ahead and go forth. You know, all the daggone evidence that came out, you know, regarding Celeste Rivers Hernandez unaliving, you know, it's just plainly ridiculous. Hold on. You said maybe he provided the alcohol or something more, because I know alcohol made what's the name unalive. People working in being doctors and stuff, and pain medicine doctors, you can easily go get certain things. Okay. They do keep account, but still, you know how it goes. I'm not saying they did anything. I'm just saying. All right. But my prayers are still out to Nolan Wells' parents, his other relatives, his friends, and all of that. And may he continue to rest in peace. And we will be covering this until they put somebody in jail, hopefully. Okay? Especially the person who, if they are lying, the person who, you know, thought of this up and, you know, and had the other ones go along with it. Okay? And the one that gave them stuff. Period. Anyway, that is it for this discussion on Nolan Wells. And like I said, I was talking about D4VD. Let me go over him real quick and then we are out of here, okay? This is another important story. Also, Nancy Guthrie's Nancy Guthrie's daughter, okay, put up another, what's the name? Another, I can't even think now because I'm getting tired. She put up another offer, okay, $1 million, you know, for the safety, for her mother being turned, to let her know where her mother is, okay? Even if she probably is unalive. Even with her being unalive, you know, she wants to know where her mom is, which is understandable. And she's offering a $1 million reward. And I'm glad she's not giving up, because damn, you know, some people would give up, you know, but she's still trying to find out what happened to her mom, which I don't blame her. And that's just another case that I've been covering too. So I just want to update everybody on that, just in case, you know, they can hear about that. So yes, she did another amount, $1 million offer. if anyone have any real information to the whereabouts of Nancy Guthrie. Okay. And as far as D4VD, like I said, he is set to stand trial for the unaliving of Celeste Rivers Fernandez after evidence shows that they had a very violent relationship, that he had that with that T. And obviously, he unalived her and stuff. Now, in the hearing last week, I think that was last week, they showed pictures of, what he allegedly did to this girl. And let me just go over it, tell y'all what they showed real quick. Let me see if I can find that. What the heck? That's probably on my other phone. Hold on for a second, y'all. Let me get it on my other phone. I told you I'll be using 50,000. No, actually, it's probably on here. I was on the wrong, what's the name? See if it's over here. Hold on, let me just type it in, shit. Because I don't know what I did with that stuff. Let me type his name in, actually. D4VD. Because it went through strict details about the pictures. Not too much details, but it did. So, yeah. So, they show these. I can't show it here. I don't have them anyway, but they show, her images. The images of her, being unalive, and dismembered. And they showed that to the jury. And some of those people had to get up and leave. They showed it to the whole courtroom, and they had to, and it's not a jury, I don't think, but they showed it to the whole courtroom, and those people got up, some of those people got up and left. A couple of people were like, Jesus, and just looking like, like you would be looking if you saw these pictures. You saw a picture of a girl dismembered and all this other stuff, and then I think they said, they showed one picture where she had a punctured liver, I believe. So they showed that in the one where her fingers was cut off. I guess that was cut off so it wouldn't reveal her matching tattoo. And let's see what else. It's some other marks she had on her body, some cuts and stuff, and things of that nature. They showed pictures of her body parts in different bags, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, they show her torso and her head in the trunk of the car. And the prosecutor had to ask what it was because it was so badly decomposed, he couldn't tell what it was, okay? They said it was absolutely deplorable. But, they have to show that in court so you can determine if this person did this or you suspect that he did it and he needs to go to trial for it. Hold on, you guys. And let's see what else they did here. So her mom and dad obviously weren't there for that part of the hearing because I know they don't want to see those pictures. So they didn't come for that one. They were there for all the other stuff that transpired, okay? They were there. And they may have came back in to see some of those pictures too, okay? Because different news sources say different things. So let me add that in there. They might have came back in while they were showing some of those pictures. But I know I wouldn't want to see them, okay? Honestly, I just wouldn't want to. I still can't believe this dude says he's not guilty. He even said that Celeste was allegedly trying to unalive him. So they must have had a very violent, I wouldn't say very violent, but maybe they had a violent relationship, who knows? So they say he dismembered her body with a chainsaw to hide the fact that he was having a actual relationship, with her ever since she was 1-3. And I have to say it like that because YouTube don't like when you talk about, See, they said that he allegedly he unalived her because she had threatened to reveal he was allegedly ADUSINGAMINOR and destroy his multi-million-dollar music career. So anyway, let me go to these daggone messages I want y'all to see. I'm glad he's going to trial. I actually think he's responsible for this. Okay, let me put it like that. I don't know if he has like alter egos and shit that could have done it. That's why he said he's not guilty. I think the defense team even suggested that she could have done certain injuries to herself, which is absolutely weird, but that's exactly what they said. Okay. So let me see if I can pull this up right here, these text messages. Hold on. And let me hurry up too. Let me see this girl's name. Hold on. I may have to read them to you if I can't pull it up. At least 2 of them, then I'll do the rest of them tomorrow. The Shades Tube is tired. Let's see, where did I keep those things? I think I saved them on my phone. Hold on. I don't know how people can do lives all night long, especially if you work. Let's see, what did I do with the damn messages? Here they go right here. Let me see if I type this in here. Let me see if I can pull this up on here. No, this is not it right here. Somebody else. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I could have sunk this to myself, but I'll actually do that tomorrow. I'll just give y'all a little bit of it right quick. So anyway, I guess somebody online must have posted this to let people know that all of this, what they're talking about on the news and stuff like that, is not true regarding D4VD. Okay, and that it's more to the story. And they also said that Celeste's parents knew all about D4VD allegedly, okay, and that they actually condoned the relationship, and that David was giving them money and things of that nature. And she also said that in the Hispanic culture, I think she said something like that, a lot of times they have their daughters date older men. Okay, so let me read some of this real quick. So this chick said, the last time I saw her was June 2024 at her aunt's birthday party. David brought gifts and all. He hugged everyone. Celeste didn't want to go or be there because they all was asking about when she was getting married or when they having a baby or why she was so thick in thighs that she needed to stop overeating. I'm going to read this just the way she got it typed, okay? Let's see what else. She said, yes, everybody. When she first brought him home to meet her parents, I was on my porch. She brought him to meet me first. He sounded very educated and very sweet. He spoke with manners. I know he loved her. He spoke about marriage and the future and getting them a house close to her family. I believe he was 1'7" or 1'8" at the time I met him. Like I said, it is very common for young Hispanic females to date old people. Okay? She said, yes. I used to live by Celeste, and yeah, she used to watch the kids for me. And no, she did not run away as everybody pictured to see what she ran away. Her mother and dad knew where she was at the entire time. They met David. They approved of him. We have money. He had a car. I guess she meant he has money. No. She said we have money. He had a car. He had a place. So they approved of him being from a Hispanic culture like that. Once our parents meet our partner and see that he could take care of us, they let us move in with them. So it's more common than you think. Her parents knew where she was at because everybody have her location throughout her friends, plus me and her parents. And yeah, she was pregnant. But her mom took her to get, you know what, because her mother told her she had to wait till marriage to even come out publicly in the family with a baby and stuff like that. This is crazy. Let's see what else. She said, hold on, I can barely get all this. Hold on, let me turn this back around, y'all, why this phone does this. So she said, I guess she would come by on the weekend or every weekend. She said she looked clean. Her hair was done. Had on clean clothes. Hold on. She looked happy. They act like a couple. I remember asking him how they met. They said online gaming. And I said, oh, this is the boy you was on with all the time. And she was like, yeah, with a smile. She hate me on camera because her parents always see her as a bank. I don't believe he did it. I feel like someone helped him or did it for him. He wouldn't do anything to her. That was his soulmate, he described. She also said, yeah, she was there at every tour. Her parents gave her a passport to her and signed for her to go to see David, I guess. So she's just basically trying to let everybody know that she doesn't believe that David actually did this. You know, she thinks that either someone else did it or either he got someone to do it for him. And then she's saying that the mom and dad knew about Celeste and David's relationship allegedly, you know. And she said, I didn't read the one where she said he was giving them gifts and money and stuff like that. So that's a daggone trip if this is true. Again, this was posted somewhere on social media. Okay. So we don't know if this is actually true what this person is saying or anything, you know, but just think if it is. That's messed up. If it is true, you know. How could you condone your 1-3-year-old kitty cat dating a 1-8-year-old kitty cat? That's crazy. But maybe they only saw one thing, if this is true, that cash will make people do things that you can never, ever imagine. Point blank. Okay? So David will be going to trial. All right. He's been charged with, I already told you, murder, and I think 2 or 3 more charges. But the main one is that murder charge. And like I said before, you know, if he is guilty, I hope, you know, justice is served 100%. Because that's you know, how can you be up here telling this girl you love her, and the next thing next thing she knows, you done took a damn KNIFE and then cut her all up and did the most. She probably wasn't going to tell anybody anything. She was just probably mad. You know what I'm saying? And just calling his bluff. But like I said, if he actually did this, I definitely hope that justice is served 1,000,000 times on him, over and over again. But I will keep y'all updated on his case too, you guys, along with Nolan Wells and any other topics that I cover over here. Y'all make sure y'all thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, share, leave a comment, and hype this video up. And if you want to show additional support for the channel, feel free to do a super sticker, super chat, Cash App donation at $Shades2, or copy yourself a membership for $4.99 per month. Okay? Thank you guys so much. Let me go to put this down. All right, other than that, I'll see y'all tomorrow night with another daily news. Not daily news, I'm gonna get tired, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow night with another Night Owl Live, okay? All righty, and don't forget to check out my other material as well. Good night, y'all. Sweet dreams, and thanks to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watched us in the replay, over here in the chat, Ravon, Dobonot, Jermaine, Jay, Tiresome Wink. And I think that's it over here. I appreciate y'all over here representing for the Night House. All right? All right, y'all. Good night. Let me get out of here because I'm about to fall asleep right here on this live. I did do a poll. Let me give y'all the results of that real quick before we leave because I forgot all about it. I did do that. Let me go over that real quick. You can hear the sleep in my voice, y'all. Let's see. Spell Laura name wrong. So let's see what did I put the daggone question at. I might have overlooked it. Nope. Let's see. Hold on. So I asked everybody, I said, Night Owls, do you think Nolan Wells stayed on the island, got back on his boat, or got on someone else's boat? 13% said stayed on the island without his normal crew. 50% said he returned back to that boat. 17% said he got on another boat. And 21% said they do not know. I'm with return back to the boat people because I actually think that's exactly what he did. All right? So thank you guys for answering that poll. I'm going to put up another one. And I'm out of here, you guys. I am out of here. Good night and sweet dreams.
Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades2, baby. She back again. Mic hot, crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shades2, press replay. You thought I let back again. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's Tube, press replay. You thought I left? Nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right here, late night with Shay. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's Tube, press replay. You thought I left? Nah, I'm back again. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's Tube, press replay. You thought I left? Nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. Shay's Tube. She back again. Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's Tube, press replay. You thought I left? Nah, I'm back again. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's Tube, press replay. You thought I left? Nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Good night and sweet dreams. All right.